Cardiac arrhythmias is the disruption of the normal cardiac rhythm. Now, what is normal cardiac rhythm? Normal cardiac rhythm means regular sinus rhythm with a normal cardiac rate of 60 to 100 beats per minute. Now, regular sinus rhythm, it means SA node is the pacemaker and the P is followed by QRS complex in the electrocardiogram. Various cardiac arrhythmias they occur because of abnormal sinus rhythm, conduction disturbances, and the ectopic cardiac rhythm. Abnormal sinus rhythm means it is the abnormality in the pacemaker tissue itself or the SA node. Conduction disturbances means disturbances in the conduction of the cardiac impulse from SA node to AV node or from AV node to bundle of His as well as the myocardium. Ectopic cardiac rhythm is the ectopic pacemaker that generates cardiac impulse. So these are the various causes of cardiac arrhythmias. So cardiac arrhythmias they occur because of the abnormal or the variation in the sinus rhythm, conduction disturbances and the ectopic cardiac rhythm. Now the variation in the sinus rhythm it includes sinus arrhythmias, sinus tachycardia, sinus bradycardia and the abnormality in the carotid sinus that is the carotid sinus syndrome and abnormality in the SA node itself that is sick sinus syndrome. Conduction disturbances it includes block in the SA node is the SA nodal block, AV nodal block and the bundle branch block. Ectopic cardiac rhythm it includes atrial extrasystole and the ventricular extrasystole, atrial and the ventricular arrhythmias. Now first of all let's understand about the abnormality and the variation in the sinus rhythm. Sinus arrhythmia is the variation in the normal sinus rhythm. It is the variation in the heart rate with the various phases of respiration. So normally heart rate increases with inspiration and decreases during expiration, and this 5% change in the heart rate it occurs during the respiratory phases. It is common in children and in the endurance athletes with slow heart rate. Here we can see the recording of the heart rate and recording of ECG during the various phases of the respiration. So here we can see during the inspiration heart rates they are more and during the expiration heart rate decreases, and this is known as sinus arrhythmia. Now what causes sinus arrhythmia? So whenever inspiration occurs, it increases volume inside the lung, which causes stimulation of the stretch receptors from the lungs. Stimulation from the stretch receptor, it sends information via vagus nerve, which inhibits the cardiac inhibitory area and it decreases the vagal output to the pacemaker tissue, which increases the heart rate. So during the inspiration, heart rate increases and during the expiration, heart rate decreases. Sinus tachycardia. Now in the sinus tachycardia, normal sinus rhythm it is preserved. It means P waves they are followed by QRX complexes. RR interval it is decreased but it is regular. Now causes of the sinus tachycardia they are exercise, fever, hyperthyroidism and reflex response to the low arterial pressure. All these are the causes for the sinus tachycardia. Sinus bradycardia, it means decrease in the heart rate along with the preservation of the normal sinus rhythm. So normal sinus rhythm it is present and heart rates they are decreased. RR interval it is prolonged but it is regular and heart rates they are less than 60 beats per minute. Sinus bradycardia occurs during the sleep, rest, exposure to the cold, hypothyroidism, and in the raised intracranial pressure because of the Cushing reflex. Carotid sinus syndrome it is also associated with a change in the sinus rhythm. Carotid sinus syndrome, as the name suggests, it is the hyperresponsiveness of the carotid sinus and the baroreceptor present inside the carotid sinus. So even mild change in the pressure inside the carotid sinus, it strongly initiates baroreceptor reflex and through the baroreceptor reflex, it produces bradycardia. Sometimes heart stops for 5 to 10 seconds also. And this hyperresponsiveness of the carotid sinus, it is known as carotid sinus syndrome. Sick sinus syndrome. As the name suggests, it is the abnormality within the SA node itself. So it is characterized by marked bradycardia, which is accompanied by dizziness in the syncope because of the decrease in the cardiac output secondary to decrease in the heart rate. Causes of the sick sinus syndrome, they are SA nodal block, sinus arrest, ischemic heart disease, amyloidosis, and the myocarditis. So it is the abnormality within the SA node. So treatment of the sick sinus syndrome is the implantation of the artificial pacemaker in the heart. Now let's understand about the conduction disturbances. Conduction disturbances, these are the disturbances in the conduction of the cardiac impulse. Cardiac impulse, it is generated in the SA node. SA node is the primary pacemaker from which impulse it is generated, and then it travels to the AV node, and then it travels to the bundle branch of His. From the bundle branch of His, cardiac impulse it is relayed to the Purkinje fiber where it produces depolarization of the myocardium. Now the conduction abnormality at the level of the SA node, it is known as SA nodal block. Conduction anomaly at the level of the AV node, it produces AV nodal block, and the conduction disturbance at the level of the bundle branch of His, it produces bundle branch block. SA nodal block or the sinoatrial nodal block, it is the blockade of the conduction between SA node to the AV node. It occurs in cardiomyopathy, ischemia, amyloidosis. Now whenever SA nodal block occurs, it results in absence of the atrial depolarization or the atrial standstill. So because of this, P wave is absent whenever SA nodal block occurs. Now this atrial standstill, it remains for few seconds, and after 2 to 3 missing beats, AV node it becomes the next pacemaker and it generates cardiac impulse. So QRS complex it can be seen, but P wave is absent in the SA nodal block. Now atrioventricular nodal block occurs because of the slowing down or block of the impulses across AV node. So whenever AV nodal conduction it is delayed or it is blocked, then it is the AV nodal block. It occurs because of the ischemia, compression, calcification, scar tissue formation. It can lead to AV nodal block formation. Now the AV nodal block it is of two types: incomplete AV nodal block as well as the complete heart block. Incomplete AV nodal block or incomplete heart block. Now this incomplete AV nodal block, it can be further divided in two types: first degree AV block and the second degree AV block. Now first of all, let's understand about the first degree AV block. In the first degree AV block, all the atrial impulses they can reach ventricle, but the impulse conduction through the AV node it is slowed, and because of this PR interval it is prolonged, which is more than 0.20 second. Here we can see this is the P wave, this is the PR interval. So PR interval is prolonged. Now in the first degree AV nodal block, atrial and ventricular rate are same because all the atrial impulses they can traverse through the AV node, but it is slowed. Second degree AV block, it is the type of the AV block in which gradual slowing of the AV nodal conduction it is there. It is of two type, Mobis type 1 and Mobis type 2. This is the Mobis type 1 type of the incomplete heart block in which gradual prolongation of the PR interval occurs because of the gradual increase in the slowed conduction through the AV node. So gradual increase in the PR interval occurs and then one beat is completely absent. Again, gradual increase in the PR interval occurs and one beat is completely absent. This is known as Wenckebach phenomenon, and this type of the block it is known as Mobis type 1. Second degree AV block Mobis type 2. In the Mobis type 2, PR interval it is normal. For few beats, conduction through the AV node it is normal, but in few beats, ventricles they fail to respond to the SA nodal impulse because of the blockade in the AV node. So here we can see after two normal impulse conduction, one impulse conduction it is absent in the AV node. So ventricular depolarization it is absent. Here again after two normal cardiac impulse, one ventricular depolarization it is absent. So ventricles they fail to respond to the atrial contraction periodically, And for a particular number of the QRS complexes, there may be more P waves. So atrial contraction, they are more, and ventricular contraction, they are less. Complete heart block, it is also known as third degree AV nodal block. Now the complete heart block, as the name suggests, it is the complete blockade of the conduction of the impulse from SA node to the ventricles. And whenever complete heart block occurs, it results in the decrease or absent ventricular contraction. So here we can see P wave, it is not followed by QRS complex. So ventricular contraction, it is stopped. It results in decrease in the cardiac output and decrease in the cerebral blood supply, which results in unconsciousness, and it is known as Stoke-Adams syndrome. Now after few seconds, ventricles they start generating their own impulse, but at the slower rate. So atrial and ventricular rate, they are different, but they are constant. Broad QRS complexes, they are present in the ventricular depolarization, and no relationship is present between the P and the QRS complex in the complete heart block. Bundle branch block, it is the blockade of the conduction of impulse in the bundle of His. There are two bundle of His, right bundle branch and the left bundle branch. Whenever right bundle branch is blocked, then it results in the depolarization of left side of the heart first, which is followed by the depolarization of the right ventricle. So right ventricle, it contracts after the left ventricle, and in the left side of the bundle branch block, left ventricle contracts after right ventricle. And because of this prolonged depolarization, QRS complex, it is prolonged. Ectopic cardiac rhythm. So in the normal cardiac rhythm, SA node is the pacemaker and it is known as sinus cardiac rhythm. But whenever cardiac impulse it is generated in the cardiac tissue other than the pacemaker tissue, then it is known as ectopic cardiac rhythm. Now the ectopic cardiac rhythm, it can produce extrasystole as well as the arrhythmias. Now the extrasystole occurs in the atria and the ventricles, they are known as atrial and the ventricular extrasystole, and the arrhythmia occur in the atria and the ventricles, they are known as atrial and the ventricular arrhythmias. Now in the subsequent slide I will explain about the extrasystole as well as the arrhythmias. Premature atrial contraction and the atrial extrasystole. Now the atrial extrasystole occurs because of the ectopic foci which is present in the atria, and it generates cardiac impulse. This cardiac impulse, it produces depolarization of the atria and the depolarization of the ventricles. So QRX complex, it is broad. Now when the next cardiac impulse from the SA node it arrives, then it fails to produce depolarization of the ventricle because it falls in the refractory period of the cardiac tissue. Premature atrial contraction up to 2 to 4 beats per minute, they can be considered as normal. Premature atrial contraction, they occur in the healthy people, in the athletes. Habits like smoking, alcohol, coffee, lack of sleep, they are the common causes of the premature atrial contraction. So in the premature contraction, it is followed by compensatory pause because the next impulse it falls in the refractory period of the heart. Premature ventricular contraction or the ventricular extrasystole. Causes of the ventricular extrasystole, they are ischemia, infarction of the ventricles, smoking, alcohol, ingestion of coffee, lack of sleep. These are the causes for the premature ventricular contraction. Here we can see the ECG showing premature ventricular contraction. Now in the premature ventricular contraction or in the ventricular extrasystole, ectopic foci it is present inside the ventricular myocardium. So it generates broad QRX complex, but P wave it is absent. Here we can see this is the ventricular extrasystole. So the contraction of the ventricle is there, but contraction of the atria it is absent. And QRX complex it is prolonged and it is high voltage. Here again we can see this is the ventricular extrasystole and the P wave is absent. Arrhythmias, these are the abnormal cardiac rhythm. Normally SA node is the pacemaker, but whenever irritable focus is present inside the myocardium, then it is capable of producing cardiac impulse at the rate more rapid than the SA node. So it becomes the next pacemaker. Now this ectopic focus, it can produce abnormal cardiac rhythm, which is known as arrhythmias. Arrhythmias, they most commonly occur because of the dilatation of the atria or the ventricles, which leads to increase in the conduction pathway, slow conduction, as well as the delayed repolarization. Now let's understand the mechanism behind the generation of arrhythmias or the abnormal cardiac rhythm. It can be explained by circus movement or phenomenon of re-entry. Here we can see the normal pathway for the conduction of depolarization in the cardiac chamber. Suppose this is a cardiac chamber and the wave of the depolarization, it spreads in the walls of the cardiac tissue. Now whenever wave of the depolarization spreads, the area behind it, it is under the absolute refractory period, so it cannot excite that area. Now whenever the wave of the depolarization, it reaches at the point of initiation, the surrounding tissue is under the absolute refractory period. So the cardiac impulse, it cannot enter in the cardiac tissue and it cannot re-excite that myocardium. Now whenever cardiac chamber it is dilated, so it leads to prolongation of the conductive pathway. Whenever conduction is slowed and the repolarization it is delayed, then whenever the cardiac impulse it reaches at the point of initiation, then the cardiac tissue surrounding that it is under relative refractory period or the refractive period is over. So the cardiac impulse it can enter in the myocardial tissue and in this manner conduction of impulse it is continued, which is known as circus movement, and this circus movement it leads to development of flutter or fibrillations. Disorders of the cardiac repolarization, also known as the long QT syndrome, they are also associated with the development of cardiac arrhythmias. Now the QT interval is the time from Q point to the end of T wave, which shows the cardiac repolarization. Now various disorders that delay repolarization of the ventricular muscle after the action potential, it causes prolonged ventricular action potential. Delayed repolarization of the ventricular muscle increases the person's susceptibility to develop ventricular arrhythmias, and which is known as torsa dedi pointis, which literally means twisting of the points. At the twisting of the points, the possibility of the developing cardiac arrhythmias is more. Acquired form of the long QT syndromes, they are commonly associated with the electrolyte abnormalities such as hypomagnesemia, hypokalemia, hypocalcemia, and with the intake of various antibiotics like erythromycin and fluoroquinolones. Now here in this ECG we can see the post-pause increase in the QT interval. Here again we can see the post-pause increase in the QT interval. These are the torsa dedi pointis which results in the cardiac arrhythmias. Here we can see this is the cardiac depolarization and the repolarization. Because of the delayed repolarization, it results in the premature contraction, and premature depolarization it leads to torsa dedi pointis and the development of arrhythmias. So in the long QT syndrome, because of the delayed repolarization, it is more prone to development of the circus movement and the development of arrhythmias. Cardiac arrhythmia, they can occur in the atria as well as inside the ventricle. Arrhythmia that occur inside the atria, they are known as atrial arrhythmias, and arrhythmias in the ventricle, they are known as ventricular arrhythmias. Various atrial arrhythmias, they include atrial tachycardia, atrial flutter, and atrial fibrillation. And ventricular arrhythmias, they include ventricular tachycardia, ventricular flutter, and ventricular fibrillation. Now let's understand about atrial as well as the ventricular arrhythmias in detail. Atrial paroxysmal tachycardia. Atrial tachycardia, it means increase in the heart rate, and atrial paroxysmal tachycardia means sudden increase in the atrial depolarization and the contraction. So in the atrial paroxysmal tachycardia, atrial beat, it increases up to 200 beats per minute. Regular and uniform ventricular contraction it is present. So impulse generated in the SA node, it travels to the ventricle and it produces ventricular depolarization and the contraction. P wave is partially superimposed into normal T wave of the preceding beat because of the paroxysmal tachycardia. Atrial flutter. In the atrial flutter, rate of the discharge, it increases from 200 to 350 beats per minute. It occurs because of the partial refractiveness of the atria. Alternate large and the small atrial contractions they are present, and not all the atrial impulses they travel to the ventricles. Here in the ECG we can see this is P wave, QRS complex, and here P wave is merged with the T wave. So at two atrial contraction, one ventricular contraction it is present. So in this atrial flutter, 2 1 atrial to the ventricular rhythm is observed in lead 2. Atrial fibrillation. Fibrillation, it means ineffective contraction of the individual muscle fibers. In the atrial fibrillation, rate of the discharge, it increases from 300 to 350 beats per minute. Irregular contraction of the different atrial fibers they are present. So P waves they are absent and irregular heartbeats they are seen. In the atrial fibrillation, the efficiency of the atria to pump blood in the ventricle it is decreased. Now atria they normally contribute to 20 percentage of the filling of the ventricles. So whenever atrial fibrillation occurs, it leads to 20 percentage decrease in the cardiac output. Now the patient with the atrial fibrillation can live for years without any other complications because atria it contributes only to 20 to 30 percentage. So if not associated with any other anomaly, then atrial fibrillation it is non-lethal. Ventricular paroxysmal tachycardia. These are the ventricular tachycardia occurs in the paroxysm or suddenly. So series of the ventricular premature beats occurring one after another without any normal beat. In the ventricular tachycardia, ventricular beat increases up to 200 per minute. Ventricular tachycardia, they aim at serious cardiac abnormality and it frequently initiates the lethal condition of ventricular fibrillation. Ventricular flutter. In the ventricular flutter, rate of the ventricular contraction it increases from 200 to 350 beats per minute. Typical hairpin curves they are seen in the ventricular flutter. Main and the terminal deflection they cannot be differentiated. Ventricular fibrillation. In the ventricular fibrillation, ventricular contraction they increase from 350 to 500 beats per minute. It leads to irregular contraction of the ventricular muscles, and because of the irregular contraction of the ventricular muscle leads to serious decrease in the cardiac output. So whenever fibrillation begins, unconsciousness occurs within 4 to 5 seconds because of the lack of the blood supply to the brain. Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. It occurs because of the presence of the abnormal conducting tissue between the atria and the ventricles. Normally, the impulse generated in the SA node it is conducted to the AV node. After the AV nodal delay, it is relayed to the bundle of His and finally to the Purkinje fibers. But in the Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, the abnormal conducting tissue, which is also known as bundle of Kent, is present, which bypasses the AV nodal conduction. So, impulse generated in the SA node it can depolarize ventricles. So, in the patient with WPW syndrome, PR interval it is short because of the absence of the AV nodal conduction, and QRS complex it is large because activation of the ventricle it fuses with the normal QRS complex. Now, complication of the Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome is the development of paroxysmal atrial tachycardia because the impulse which depolarizes ventricle it can re-enter inside the atria and it can develop circus rhythm because this area it is non-refractory or it is under relative refractory period. So circus rhythm is possible which can generate paroxysmal atrial tachycardia.